Hey folks! Rotorua is one of those places where your day can get weird very quickly, in a good way. You can start with whitewater rafting, end up walking through steaming volcanic valleys, relax in a geothermal mud bath, and somehow still finish the night kayaking under glowworms or walking through lit-up redwood trees. That's what makes planning Rotorua a little tricky. There's a lot to do, but not everything fits the same kind of trip. So in this video, I'll break down the Rotorua activities that actually make sense to plan around. From adrenaline stuff to geothermal parks, spa experiences, wildlife, Hobbiton, and a few night tours that feel completely different from the daytime. First up is the Kaituna River whitewater rafting experience. This is probably the biggest adrenaline hit on the list. Forget the gentle scenic float. On the Kaituna River, you're paddling through rapids, surrounded by native bush, while your guide calls instructions and the water gets louder around you. Then comes Tutea Falls. That's the moment people remember, because the raft actually drops over a proper waterfall. For a few seconds, it's just noise, spray, chaos, and your brain trying to understand what just happened. That's why Kaituna rafting gives Rotorua such a fun adventure side. And I'll leave useful links in the description for these tours so you can compare options and plan everything more easily. Next up is Waimangu Volcanic Valley. This one slows the pace down. You walk through steaming vents, hot springs, colorful mineral areas, and lakes that look almost too peaceful for such a volcanic place. Waimangu works best when you don't rush it. Follow the trails, stop when something catches your eye, and let the scenery change around you. One area feels lush and green. Another turns steamy and strange. Then suddenly you get a quiet lake view that makes the whole place feel calm. For Rotorua's geothermal side without making the day too intense, Waimangu is a really solid choice. Then there's Hell's Gate. And yes, the name sounds like a metal band or a very dramatic theme park ride. But this is where Rotorua's spa side gets more earthy. You cover yourself in warm mineral mud, sit there for a while, probably look ridiculous, and then rinse off feeling weirdly refreshed. It's not the polished hotel spa version of relaxation. Hell's Gate feels more raw and connected to the place, with steam, hot pools, mud, minerals, and that strange feeling of relaxing in an active geothermal area. After rafting, walking, hiking, or driving, this is a great way to let the trip breathe a little. Next is Wai-O-Tapu Geothermal Park. This is one of the most famous geothermal spots near Rotorua, and it's easy to see why. Wai-O-Tapu is all about color, steam, texture, and landscapes that look like the Earth was having a very dramatic day. There are steaming craters, bubbling mud, mineral pools, and the famous champagne pool with its bright edges and rising steam. The walkways make it easy too. You just move from one feature to the next, and every stop feels a little different. Some areas look beautiful, others look harsh and alien. And every so often, the place reminds you that a lot is happening under the ground while everyone casually takes photos. For the classic Rotorua geothermal experience, Wai-O-Tapu is one of the easiest recommendations. Then we have the National Kiwi Hatchery Kiwi Encounter Tour. This gives the trip a softer, more New Zealand-specific moment. Seeing a kiwi bird in the wild is not easy. They're shy, nocturnal, and generally not trying to become your vacation highlight. The hatchery gives you a much better way to learn about them properly. You get a closer look at kiwi conservation, why these birds need protection, and how the hatchery helps support their survival. It's quieter than rafting or volcanic valleys, but that's what makes it work. It adds something meaningful between the bigger, louder experiences. Next up is the Hobbiton movie set tour from Rotorua. Even if you're not a massive Lord of the Rings fan, Hobbiton is pretty easy to enjoy. The drive takes you from Rotorua toward Matamata, and suddenly the landscape turns into the Shire. Little hobbit holes, green hills, gardens, tiny details everywhere. The whole place is ridiculously charming. What makes Hobbiton work is how complete it feels. It doesn't come across like a few movie props in a field. It feels like a full little world someone carefully kept alive. The guided tour adds filming stories, behind-the-scenes details, and small things you'd probably miss on your own. And if lunch is included, it feels more like a proper day trip instead of just a quick photo stop. Quick pause. If you like travel experiences that are actually worth building a trip around, hit subscribe and check the description. I'll leave useful links there so you can compare the tours without digging through random tabs for an hour. Now let's talk about the Glowworm Kayak Tour. This one is more about mood than action. You head out around evening or night when the water gets quiet and the light starts to fade. Then the glowworms begin to appear. Tiny points of light show up along the cave or canyon walls, sometimes reflecting around you as the kayak moves slowly through the water. No big rush, no dramatic viewpoint, just water, darkness, silence, and little lights around you. After a busy Rotorua day, this can be one of the nicest ways to end the evening. Then there's the Mount Tarawera Volcanic Crater Guided Walk. This one gives Rotorua a bigger, more dramatic feeling. You get wide open views, rugged volcanic terrain, ridge lines, and deep craters. It feels more exposed and epic than the easier geothermal walks. A guide makes a real difference here because the story behind Mount Tarawera matters. The views are already impressive, but once you understand the eruption history and what this place means to the area, the whole walk feels much more powerful. It's a good middle ground between scenery and adventure. More active than a simple park visit, but less chaotic than rafting. Next is the Redwoods Treewalk. This is one of the easiest activities to fit into a Rotorua itinerary. You walk along suspended bridges between tall redwood trees above the forest floor, with enough height to make it interesting but not stressful. During the day, it's a peaceful forest walk from a different angle. At night, the whole place changes. The lights come on, the forest gets darker, and the tree walk turns into this calm, glowing experience that feels completely different from the daytime version. It's relaxed, easy, and perfect after dinner when another big drive or heavy activity sounds like too much. And that's the nice thing about Rotorua. The trip doesn't have to be built around one mood. Kaituna brings the adrenaline. Wai-O-Tapu and Waimangu bring the geothermal landscapes. Hell's Gate gives you the slower spa moment. The Kiwi Hatchery adds wildlife and conservation. Hobbiton gives you the movie set escape. And after dark, the glowworms and Redwoods Treewalk give Rotorua a totally different atmosphere. So don't try to cram everything in just because it exists. Choose the version of Rotorua that actually fits your trip. For adventure, Kaituna rafting and Mount Tarawera make a strong pair. For classic geothermal Rotorua, Wai-O-Tapu and Waimangu are the obvious picks. For a slower day, Hell's Gate and the Redwoods Treewalk work really well together. And for something iconic and storybook-like, Hobbiton is the easy choice. Rotorua is steamy, strange, fun, relaxing, and more varied than people often expect. Plan it smart, choose the experiences that match your style, and the whole trip will feel much better. Check the description for tour links and availability, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!